What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Let me finish setting up real quick. I let a few people get up in here. Mm. Mm. I let a few people get up in here real quick. Mm-mm. All right. Let me invite some people. Let me invite some people real quick. Hello, Tom. Welcome to Science Academy. Okay. I'll go ahead and close this window. Okay. Just give me a second, folks. You're welcome, sir. Just trying to let a few people get up in here. Mm. Also, this right. Let me let me invite my boy up in here real quick. Uh, there it is. Give me a second. We're gonna get started here. What's good? Flat power, baby. Hey, send me an email. You want on the panel? We're gonna go in about alchemy today. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to get Professor Frequency up in here. No. I'm game. Mm, okay. Okay. Let me see if I can get Pro up in here. Flat and stationary, of course. Sure, of course it is. Trying to think. I really don't know you much though, Tom. So send me your email. Under the ether you want on. Let's see. Trying to get my boy. Trying to get my boy DQ to join because he's pretty good in alchemy as well. Mm, let's see. All right. Mm. Okay, I got you. You'll know my email. You'll know my email when it comes to you. I'm just trying to wait for some people to get up in here. We're gonna try to we're gonna try to get up. Okay. We're gonna try to what I'm saying, go over. Okay, cool. We're gonna try to go over, like, alchemy and stuff. I see, 6, 7 people watching. Let's see. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Let me see. Mm. Okay. Mm. Okay. What's up? This what's up. Hey, this what's up. Let me see if I can add you real quick. All right, Tom. I sent you a check your email, bro. Dojo. Okay, I got you. All right. Hold tight real quick, Dojo. Hold tight real quick, my brother. Okay. All righty. All right, check your email, my brother. I don't know. We might be double streaming. I'm not sure. Cause the only way I'm able to like live stream a live stream is if I'm using OBS. Uh, so yeah, go ahead and check your emails. I sent it out to you. I'm really not that caught up on alchemy either, Tom. But like I say, a lot of this stuff we'll be learning as we go. Gonna get them likes up. Get them likes up, 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 up. Yeah, I sent it there. Hey, let me try it again. Damn. And you said it's at Yahoo, right? Okay. Mm. All right, try now, time. Dojo, did you get mine yet? Uh, Still waiting. All right, I see Dojo Time has joined the panel. Welcome to Science Academy, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, not a problem. You know you're always welcome here, bro.
For sure, for sure. I'm over here just trying to get my little teapot going.
Your teapot. That's what's up. That's what's up. I was a few months ago, my boy DQ. Hey Tom, welcome to Science Academy, bro. Oh, you gotta unmute your mic. Hey, unmute your mic. I don't, there you go.
All right. Should I kill the video or we good?
Now you good now. We can hear you now. At first I was skeptical because I don't know too much about you, but I was like, well, you showing your
I
face, so that's
understand.
pretty good.
I understand. And my face ain't looking too good right now.
Huh?
What's Tom?
Oh, you
I'm
can call
Tom.
me Jamaican Titan,
I'm sorry?
JT,
JT.
but
Thanks for
or Miss
trusting me. Let
Mr.
me do
Science
this.
Academy.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, JT, you want to, should I mute my mic or something? Get off and let someone else talk?
Um,
Or I don't really know how to do
yeah,
this.
you
I've only done
can.
it once or twice.
We just gonna do a little quick show real quick over alchemy. As I was saying, I was reading a little bit over the, I want to say, Hermetic Museum or something, and I didn't go. I really didn't get deep into it, but then so I wanted to kind of dive back into it today, and a lot of the stuff I'm not too versatile on it, but I'm glad I have like people who not as versatile as well, because we can learn as we go, which is really really good. What I do know, Hermes and Thoth and Isis, they were basically the first alchemists. I want to say Isis was the first female alchemist, and a lot of their work got burned down in the fire of Alexandria in the library. I'm pretty sure they kept copies of it for themselves, but they basically burnt down a whole lot of they burned down a whole lot of data to that we could go refer to ourselves. Bunch of BS. I believe. Let me let me bring up my screen. I'll go ahead, bro. Y'all can go ahead. I can yield. What's been up with you, Dojo?
And man, lightweight lounging, keeping myself occupied. Quality of life is quality of improvement. As for alchemy, um, I do believe that we're all going to have a different perspective of alchemy. You know what I mean? And what does it mean by an alchemical reaction? Mine will
Mm.
be more, me. Mine's going to be point you back to the digestive system. My point of view and my studies of alchemy has always led me to the human digestive tract. So today's discussion, that's what I will be discussing, is my perspective of alchemy and what it means to me to take lead-based metals and turn them into gold. I yield the floor.
Absolutely, and I'm glad because your point of direction is something I read up on. There's something I read up on. I think about Thoth, how he could turn lead or something into how he could turn lead or something into gold. How he mastered the art of water bending. I mean, it was pretty deep, and they kind of made it sound like a fairy tale, but I'm like, it's really not when you able to become one with Mother Nature's frequency. Then you'll be able to become one with water frequency, with air frequency, and stuff. Something that's I believe been taken from us over many centuries ago. It's crazy. When I think about how a lot of covens and witch covens they could use alchemy to do this and to do that, but they turned something they took something so beautiful and pure and made it into something evil to control people and to harm people. you know um and then my boy DQ, which hopefully he'll join the call, but he'll pass me a link to the Hermetic Museum. And like I said, I started I started into it. This is like months ago, but I read in didn't go into detail on it, and that'll be awesome. Like you as we go into it today, go a little deeper into it today, and it's basically your studies and findings on alchemy as well. You know, let me see if I can bring up a page real quick. All right, hold on. Let me give my boy Underdog a wrench. There you go. But yeah, I'll go ahead and yield the floor. The floor is yours, Dojo.
Um, I know we have another panelist by the name of Tom. I don't know where Tom stands on the topic of discussion of alchemy. At this point, it doesn't matter. We're all here to learn. At the same time, it just give off, give off everyone's perspective. So my perspective of alchemy is, like I mentioned, it has something to do with the human digestive tract. Um, an alchemist understood, in my perspective, an alchemical reaction or alchemical equation is something to do with dietary laws and principles, as if, a broken rhythm. A broken rhythm is an electrical current, is how we think. You know what I'm saying? When in dojo, I teach about electrolysis, but they fail to realize when they're listening that the electrolysis that I'm mentioning is not a mechanical electrolysis. And chemistry, which is a branch of alchemy, you know what I mean? All
Mm-hmm.
is derived from all is derived from the root word or prefix of, you know what I mean, Allah, which is like an almighty prefix of the should I say the um the the Muslim, not the Muslim, the Arabic language. The AL of the Arabic language is a prefix from God, Allah, as well as the EL, because they both give off the same. It's the prefix of God in Hebrew. And so when we look at the word alchemy, we can see the etymology of the word does derive from chemet, which is chemistry. And so when we look at electrolysis that I teach in dojo class, I'm not speaking about
Mm-hmm.
electrolysis, about mechanical electrolysis. Now, we're speaking about alchemy. And alchemy is how do we take metals and turn them into what some will say gold. But that's the fool's rush. The fool's rush is to go and try to transmute lead-based metals into gold when the only proof of lead-based metals being converted into gold would be minerals, because minerals are solid, naturally occurring inorganic substances are minerals. Minerals are metals. They're elementary metals. They're substances that our body converts into fluids, which becomes glucose, which becomes the generation that what the mind is ran on, which is a gold. You know what I mean? You mix together alchemy and you mix together the chakra. This is where you get the gold, the ray of the sun, the gold. You know, it's not necessarily saying go on a voyage and dig up metals and try to do chemistry and see if you can turn metals into actually gold that you can pond. You know, I yield the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of times
uh,
people know that what you call it goes together. The chakras and the alchemy and because back then with ISIS and Hermes and them, they had to they basically had to tap into that chakra to become great alchemists. It's like you can't it's like you can't master you can't master the elements without mastering yourself first. I mean, that's just like a thing I believe in. I really hate using the word belief, but I mean that's what I really think. Like, how can you master go out here and master talking to trees and stuff if or becoming one with that plant when you not one with yourself, yeah, first.
And you're correct, because the word electrolysis, like I mentioned in the dietary principle of mastering yourself, like I mentioned before, and I'm going to mention it once more. It's not the
Hmm.
mechanical electrolysis. The actual practical motion of electrolysis is, okay, we're talking about alchemy, okay? And so we know that everything we eat when it comes from the soil is planted in the soil, okay? So we
Hmm.
ask ourselves, how do minerals become extracted from rocks? And how do the minerals end up in the roots of the plants in order for us human beings to eat the plants to say that we have absorbed biotin, or we have absorbed the mineral cobalt, we have absorbed the mineral iron or magnesium, we have absorbed the mineral chromium or iodine or manganese, nickel? These are minerals. These are the lead-based minerals that are supplemental to that are efficient to our body naturally. So the
Hmm.
electrolysis is the phase of roots. When roots, somebody got to mute their background.
It's probably
No,
me. Let me.
okay.
Sorry about that.
As I'm
I
saying,
got you.
when the roots of plants are buried in the soil of the ground, rocks are filled with minerals. The microbes that form around the roots deep beneath the earth absorbs the minerals out of the rocks. That is called electrolysis. When the microbes that form around roots absorb minerals from the rocks in order for us to for order for us to have minerals in our body, that is called electrolysis. I'm not talking about the mechanical one. I'm talking about the natural one. This is what I call alchemy, is when a vegan knows himself well enough to eat that certain plant that is obviously healthy enough because the plant is buried in healthy enough soil. You notice now they have us all us botanists and growers, we have to buy bagged soil. I don't buy bagged soil. I make my own soils because of the fact that minerals come from rocks naturally. I yield the floor.
Okay, I'm looking at my screen and see two mics muted. Don't know how to mute mine or the video. I should probably get out of this so I don't interrupt you
No,
guys.
you're probably on a phone, Tom.
There
Right
it
now is the best time to practice. If you're on a cell phone,
Okay, thank
Tom, the
you.
best time to practice would be right now. If this is your first time or first experience with the panel,
Truly
look for
appreciate
your
it.
little icons. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you type your screen, the microphone and the camera comes up, so you can toggle between either.
I got it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna ditch the video so those guys don't have to look at me because I'm looking around and playing with cats and stuff. I'll keep listening. Should I mute the mic? Should
Yeah,
I leave it
yeah,
on
yeah.
as
Until
mine?
until you're ready to speak. Yeah,
Are you speaking right now? The floor is yours, Tom. Go ahead, introduce yourself
yeah.
to
Go
the
ahead.
listeners, and go ahead and get acquainted
My
with us
name's
a little bit.
my name's Tom. 56 years old. November 2 years ago. Looking for motorcycle videos on YouTube. Flat Earth popped up. Was wondering how these people are gonna try and twist something like psychopaths could be said to be cold-blooded, therefore stretch it into reptilians. I was just wondering what the heck these people were going to try and tell me how the Earth was flat. And minutes into it, it occurred to me that minutes before, I thought it was absolutely crazy. And when I saw the first video of a ship coming back over the horizon, I had to get my hands on a P900, which I have. And I could pull cruise ships back all day after they completely disappeared over the horizon down here in
Hmm.
Key West, Florida. I get beautiful sunsets and get them as many times as I want. You can zoom in and out, pick it up and down. We are truly flat, and all the experiments in the past tell us we're truly stationary. So I've been obsessed ever since, and leads to all the rest. All the other things that I saw that I kind of kept quiet about. If 9/11 came up, I'd ask them what they thought about building number 7. Most people didn't even occur that a third concrete and steel building went down on the very same day. It's never happened before, never happened since. But hey, we're conspiracy theorists apparently. You know? And I'm
Yeah,
just, like I said, obsessed. Alchemy, I understand, and these are the people that gave us our flat Earth, our spherical Earth as well. These are the people that were just, if back in the day, if you could get someone's attention, you could get the king's attention, go before the court. You were somebody. You became wealthy. You were fed at least if they didn't, take you out because they didn't like what you said. If the jester was funny, everything's good. If he's not, bye bye. But if someone could claim they
hmm
could do things that other people can't do and get people to believe them, if they can trick and just get, the authority that we give a white lab coat. If you just give the perception of knowing what you're saying and knowing more than other people, that's we got alchemy. We got rounder, baller. It's
yeah.
really
It was
sad what they've done to
crazy.
us.
It was crazy when I first found out. I was like, yeah, right. We ain't no freaking flat Earth, man. Flat Earth is so stupid. Then they zoomed in on that ship that was disappeared. I was like, oh, I became angry.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, you mean you lied to me? I've been lied to. So yeah, I mean, I can look back and laugh at it. I can look back on the past and laugh at it now. When I first become awoke, but it wasn't funny when I was going. I was angry with everybody, and anybody who still believed in the globe was just complete stupid to me. I treated them like they was, but that's when my ego started. You know. my ego started taking over, and like I said, I can look back. Then they call me soon, like, "Nah, you stupid to believe you're on a spinning wet beach ball and you don't even feel it." Yeah, I mean, I was just I was having an ego moment. A long time ago. That was I walked into Flat Earth in March of 2016. So I guess that's about 20 months ago, 21 months ago. But I got this about 21 months ago. But I already started my awakening like in February and stuff because I was already exposing the Illuminati and the witchcraft they use in these award shows and stuff, and at the Super Bowl halftime show, how they use witchcraft over the you know over the audience when they like to bring out smoke machines. They like to conjure demons in the smoke machines. That's why they have the smoke machines so you can't see them. Well, a person who's asleep won't be able to see them, but I see them every time they use those smoke machines, and you know what I'm saying. So I was exposing that, and then if you and I don't get me wrong, I did come across some flatter videos. I just didn't waste my energy on it. I was like, I'm not even gonna look at this stuff, man. And then when I was basically constantly going over Illuminati and stuff, I was like, you know what? Let me check this video out. I know, and then that's when I came across the NASA unedited moon landing footage, and I was like, you know what? Since I know that the Freemasons is doing that, maybe the Freemasons are controlling NASA as well. And here I am, 21 months later. History is made, you know.
Yeah, they certainly did a number on us. It's
Shoot,
completely
yeah.
ridiculous to believe that we're on a spinning ball, that the water's curved around it, that something like the Nile River, thousands of miles long, goes crosses the equator south to north. It's going up and downhill.
Hmm.
All of this, none of it makes any sense once you look
What
at
about
what's
what about the Mississippi River that splits the United States in half? That runs about 2,000 miles long.
right. And I believe that one runs north to south, doesn't it?
It
The
does.
Amazon runs, no, I'm sorry, the Nile runs south to north, crossing the equator, and the Mississippi is running north to south. Now they're going opposite directions around this ball.
Mhm.
Uh, I've never seen
No,
the
I
water
think
go up
I think the
by
Mississippi
itself.
runs south to north. I think it starts from the Gulf and flows all the way uphill. And I'm like,
Oh, it starts
how's it possible
going
on a
up.
ball? Gravity.
All the water here is connected. All the, except the inland waters, the ones that aren't affected by the tides, by the way.
Hmm.
And so, Tom, so would you really recommend the your camera? I mean, everyone I know that's
P900, it's
yes,
amazing.
it's
It's
amazing. Of
yes,
course, $50,
it's
right?
amazing. But apparently the like the previous ones, I don't know if it's a D7200 or some of the other ones just before the P900 will get us what we're looking for anyway. You'll be able to pull things back. You'll be able to zoom in on the moon. So the
Yeah, I remember
P900
those
apparently
P900 really
the better.
exposing the moon.
Hey, here's the like I said 2 years ago, sometime in November. I wish I could get the date. I've been in AA. I know the date I quit drinking, February 22nd of 1983, and I consider the flat Earth date just as important, but I can't track it down. The only way I can do it is search through thousands of YouTube and see what the first flat Earth one was. I don't think I want to go there, but what the heck was I saying? Mm-mm-mm. I got lost. I,
I got to give me one of those cameras. I mean,
oh yeah, the camera. Here, you're
I
gonna
do
love this.
too.
Maybe you'll love this. So I'm talking to somebody. I used to work in a homeless shelter down here, and I ran the place. I never lived there or anything. I'm not a homeless guy, although I haven't worked much in the last couple of years, being obsessed with this. All my attention's on this. So I'm talking to somebody that used to be a client there that got out, and he's up somewhere in the world working, and he called and kept in touch, and I started telling him flat Earth. I had no idea he was taking notes. And when I found out he was taking notes, I told him a couple of places to look at these couple of things, get back to me. He got back to me. I asked him what's the verdict. He said we ain't on a ball, which I kind of know. And then he asked me, what was that camera you mentioned? And I told him about the P900. And this pretty much homeless guy went out and bought a P900 and delivered it to me in Key West. And he says he knows I'm not a videographer. He knows I'm not a YouTube person, but do what I can with it to do what I'm doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm now planning to see. I don't know if they're gonna put up with it. I want to see if I can go down. There's a sunset celebration here in Key West, Florida, where people, juggling acts and people selling things they made. And I'm gonna see if I can go and talk, do a presentation like some of the like Dell and John Green and those activists out there. I I feel just as good talking flat Earth with someone who is absolutely against it and is willing to continue talking, because I'm pretty sure I can sway them if they just keep listening and look at what we're saying. You know, to just dismiss it, like you know, to dismiss it without looking is how we're in this mess. Our pride, thinking that we're too smart to have been deceived. Unfortunately, the
That's
people
like
that
when I ran into that. That's like when I knew I was running into a pit full of fire snakes, and I basically just jumped in the whole pit full of acid when I
oh yeah,
was talking to them students at Austin P University. I got the video.
oh
Um,
I'm gonna do that.
yeah, if y'all ever get a chance, go go check out my video. I originally filmed it on Facebook, but I was able to. It took me about 30 minutes or whatever, but I was able to figure out how to download it to my YouTube and stuff, because the normal ways how I download videos and put them on my channel from my main channel, it wasn't working that way. So I don't even know how I did it. I just kept messing with it, and then I finally got it done. Um, but yeah, just check it out. I think it's called
I'm looking for it.
Science Academy at Austin P State University. And they actually, even though they still believe in the globe, and they was giving me their, I don't know, their answers or rhetoric that I've already heard or whatever. They actually stayed engaged in the conversation. They didn't become angry because what I was saying was so stupid. And but yeah, it's pretty good.
I found it. I watched it. You put it out a week ago. What you
Oh
went
yeah,
to
you
Science
watched it
Academy,
already?
Austin, Science
Awesome P.
Academy, Austin, PEAY, and something else. I don't want to click on it.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. Austin P State University. Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous as crap when I went over there. I was like, man, these students gonna eat me alive. But then I thought about like, you know what? Let them eat me alive because because at least at least we flat earthers, we truth seekers, we're not afraid to have a failed experiment on documentation. We're not just gonna throw it out and then keep testing something until it fits our agenda. We don't do that. But it didn't fail though. They actually, I know I wasn't there to convince college students. I mean, come on, I was only there to plant the seed. They gonna hear about flat Earth as much as we taking off and growing in number. They're gonna hear about it again, and then they're gonna remember this tall this tall innocent goofy looking black guy with his flat Earth T-shirt came to talk to us. They're gonna remember it.
It's a beautiful thing. I did see that, and I envied you. I wish it were me. I was down here maybe a year ago. Some car rolled around down the main drag with flat Earth all over it. I just ignored the guy I was riding alongside of, turned around, pulled him over, and started chatting with someone named Patrick Burke. And he's in Texas, and he graduated one of the colleges there, and he's going back to the college on a regular basis, trying to talk to the people. He's in Denton. He's also made the news in Denton. He's got flat Earth stuff on his property, and you know, I hugged that man like he was my brother. He was just a
Mm-hmm.
stranger who understood everything that I understand. You know, um, I'm hoping something can come of. You know, I'm gonna look at this video after, see how I sound, see how I look, see what I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time actually going into an area of that type of scale, you know. But I'm glad I planted the seed because their minds are still young and fresh. Like I said, I already know I wasn't going to convince them overnight. I didn't get convinced overnight, but like I said, I just been there to plant the seed. What they do with the seed,
Yeah.
you know, what they do with the seed, hey, it's up to them, you know. Well, I just brought up this right here. This, can y'all see my screen?
Hmm.
Okay. I bring up this philosopher's stone, and I seen these from somewhere. Dojo, was that you that brought up these symbols? Or was that Brother Sanchez? I can't remember. I seen these like about a week ago. See, here go the 69. You see the 69 or the yin yang? I'm sorry, go ahead. What you saying?
It would have been Brother Sanchez. I'm listening.
Yeah, that looks like Pro Sanchez. Shout out to him.
Yeah, but
Hey,
look at all of this stuff that our ancestors left behind. Like, it's like flat earth clue after clue. I wish I could,
is that the
dang, I wish I could
zodiac in
see this
there on the
one.
outside?
Huh?
Those zodiac signs on the outside?
Yeah, let's count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it's 12 of them.
Yeah, 12.
And you
I'd
see,
say
you
those are
got Sarah,
zodiacs.
huh?
Um, some that just reminded me of something. I'm Greek, and I'm born and raised in New York, in the city. And Rockefeller Center has Atlas with this thing over his head. And somewhere along the line, wondering if I'm really crazy. I think a couple of months into it, I was like, got to reevaluate. Is this for real? And came across that people saying they knew for thousands of years that the Earth was a ball, and that just in the back of my head, it just nagging at me, and it's like, no, I'm pretty sure this is real, and I'll find out. And I just laid it on the side, and I don't know, maybe a
Basically, how they
year.
carry Atlas carries the world on his back.
No, he's carrying the celestial sphere. And if you zoom in on a picture of that Rockefeller Center, by the way, Rockefeller, if you zoom in on that, there's pictures posted. If you're not in New York City, it's zodiac signs on it. That's not the Earth. It's not continents. They believe that someone was holding the sky up. Like the Egyptians. There's a.
Hmm
It's just another way to depict it. They believe that the sky was held in place. You know, so
Yeah, almost like Nut and Gale, but
yeah,
but Nut
similar.
Nut
Yeah,
is holding herself up. She doesn't have anybody really holding her up.
right. She's leaning over, and
She's leaning over us as a protector or whatever.
right.
I was
But
thinking which could be this sign right here. You see how it's like you got it flat and then you got like a dome of some sort. And then you got this right here. I mean, these are like a lot of alchemy signs that we have to depict. Like we already know 69, you know what I'm saying? We already know what that means. 69 uh man over woman, woman over man, as above, so below, yin yang, good, bad, light, dark. So we've already basically got this one depicted right already. But it's like when you look or that vortex, we- I'm trying to think. Was that you, Dojo? We were talking about the vortex in the center. I can't remember.
In regards to the anytime I spoke of a vortex, what would be the heart cells? So yeah, it would be the, you know what I mean, the if I spoke of a vortex, it would be considered the heart cell when it's going through the arterial system. And while I have the floor, I wanted to go ahead and tilt my hat to Tom. Tom, you know what I mean? I'm noticing that you're developing that occultic eye. And so at this point, it all depends on how you what your resolution is. I mean, how you depicted that because I typed it in when you discussed it right now, the Times Square, the Rockefeller Center Times Square, and the way Jamaican brought in the Egyptian portion of the information. Now, I just got done listening to Brother Sanchez's live streams with Brother Santos, and you're spot on, Tom. So, like I said, it all depends on how you depict what you see with that occultic eye and how you present your information. I yield the floor.
Thank you for welcoming me. I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you, Jojo. And I'm going to have to find your channel and see what you got, and I'm sure it'll all be good. Um, yeah, I think Flat Water, Flat Earth eventually put one out on on that on that same subject, and I was like, I knew it. Everything that doesn't make sense in a flat Earth will eventually make sense. You just have to find the answer. And as for the
Absolutely.
alchemy and Satan worship, if people believe it, they do what the, this people doing really bad things, thinking they're doing it for Satan. They believe in Satan, so yeah, they're doing really bad things. Just because I don't believe any of that's real. I don't believe that. I don't. I don't know. I'm not willing to believe that there's bad out there that can come to you whether you want it or not. I think we're just unaware and we're drawing it to ourselves. It's the negativity. It's the way we perceive the world. We're all fighting for a better thing in life. If you're in school, you want to do better than your peers. If you're at work, you want to do better than your coworker. Everybody's
Hmm.
just fighting, and we're fighting when I believe it's an abundant place we live. I believe we're in a physical realm that has provided everything we could possibly need, and we're spiritual beings living in it. And the spiritual part is, possibly being seen, us for ayahuasca ceremonies and things like that. Um, I've read Gabrielle Henriette, who's probably before Eric Dubay or whoever started putting stuff out. I think that's the last recent flat Earth book I could find, and it was about 1959. Had I seen that early in my um, search on flat Earth, I would have been like, this lady's talking about things that I don't really think are, the world is breathing, and a cosmic breath. But from Rowbotham's days to 20 years of showing that it was perfectly flat until Alfred Russel Wallace came along and said there was a 3-foot hump in the middle of the 6 mile stretch, which no one's ever even trying to say nowadays. No one's, we know that's not true, but he put everybody back to sleep. I spoke to, I've spoken to Flat Earth Smarts. Shout out to him if you guys don't mind me shouting out. Good people. He's in the UK and he's familiar with the Bedford level. And he said, yeah, people had to be wealthy and affluent to go there, and
Hmm.
it was not like this man was making a stink to the point where the people had written the government, and of course the government can't respond to something like this. That's why they're not responding to us with anything but ridicule. We're, we'll never get NASA to go up against Eric Dubay, and I really think what anyone says, his information is free. You want to say he's selling books, making money, that's all fine and dandy. But the
We
man
can't even get NASA to
knows
go up against
his.
us. we and
Somewhere
we
along the line, they're
we
gonna.
small bodies compared to some other flat Earth channels. We can't even get NASA to come talk science with us because they scared.
I
They don't.
I teach
They
an
know they
8 year
got
old.
millions and millions of followers, and they don't want to bring their followers over to debate somebody like us and then end up getting proven wrong, getting put on blast. They don't want to risk all that.
And they can't. They can't. They've gone too far. It's just, when they made the decision to lie about it,
Yeah.
and someone like Mark Sargent saying, "Well, of course the astronauts had to know." No, they didn't have to know. They certainly don't have to know the Earth is flat. It's beyond anyone's. It's not something we think about. It's a
Mm-hmm.
settled science, according to them. Yeah, they settled the theory 500 years ago. Copernicus even said it was a theory. I, I got the book. He's not saying this is anything other but other than what I'm guessing they put him up to doing. They were chomping at the bit to have him publish, and he waited till he died. And I think he would have been happy to not do it, but you know, they're in control. They really are. It's sad. I'm scared. I'm not. I'm not that scared. I'm very unhappy. It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame how so many people just refuse to wake up. They don't want to be out of their comfort zone. D Marble uploaded a video this morning. Just shout out to D Marble. Which hold on, I just thought about it. I can continue class without doing a roll call. Let me do a roll call real quick. We got Tom Buddhist on the panel.
Yep.
Shout out to him. We got Professor Frequency on the panel, aka Dojo Time. Let's see, I see Under the Ether. I see you. Who else up in this chat? Flatman, I see you. Flat Earth Underdog, FE Underdog, I see you. What was that? I see you. Who else is up in here? Sean G, what's good? And Dre Midas. And I believe that is everybody so far. Oh, hold on. Who's Class Dojo? Oh, that's you, ain't it? That's you, Dojo?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be on 2018. I'm just going to start actually using all December to get all my friends and family on social media over there, because that's going to be the channel that I'm going to use to bring to my to merge my community and my lifestyle all in one. As you notice, it's for parents, and so
Mm-hmm.
I was requesting a wrench for that channel because once I smash on
There
the
you go.
gas,
I threw you one. You
uh,
good. I gave you one.
right, right on, brother.
I got
Found you
you.
too, and I'm soaked as well.
See, man, we going in numbers, man. And even though I hate going through the trouble like of I had to go through the trouble of having to make a backup channel, you know, due to my old one. I mean, due to my main channel that y'all know what happened or whatever. At the same time, I think it's actually convenient because now I got two channels to get the truth out. Especially when my 90 days are up. 'Cause I was thinking about, how Brother Sanchez he had to create channel twice, right? Because he had to create after his main channel, he created the Bro Sanchez line. Shout out to him. And then that channel ended up getting the same thing. And then he ended up creating Flat Power TV. Now, at first it kind of seemed like a nuisance, but at the same time, I thought I like, well, hell, he can stream live on all three channels now and get the truth out there. Cause I know that sometimes he'll use his Flat Power TV, and then the next day he'll use the Bro Sanchez TV. So you see what I'm saying? So even though it seems like a hassle to create these other channels, that's more platforms to get the truth out there. So when they like to come, and try to destroy our channels and stuff, they doing us a favor when we actually have to create more channels.
Right, and
They
in
doing
some
they
cases,
doing us a favor once the smoke settles down and clear. Now we can stream and put the truth out on both channel on all every channel that we create.
we've tarnished our own channels, like the channel that I'm speaking on right now. Even though the content on it is still valuable due to the
Hmm.
fact of the interviews and the collaborations with my partner Phoenix Bars, I see myself I don't like myself in those videos. And so the thing is, with my pre with this new channel, it's not necessarily a new channel, but it is geared directly towards parents. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
it's already customized as the new me. You know what I mean? The one who's watching his mouth, the one who's trying to tell a parent to raise your child just as good as I raised my child, because I want to raise my child just as good as you raise yours. You know, and everyone has their lanes. I've grown to respect each and every fellow and sister in their own lane. This class dojo is dojo time for parents. I will be doing reacting to certain situations when it comes to teenagers, and I will be doing reaction videos to parents who neglect their responsibilities as raising their children. This is my lane, and that's cognitive behavior.
And I just
I'm
subbed
a
you, by the way.
previous, and lastly, I'm a previous addict. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 years old myself. I'll be 41 here in a couple of months. Although I've made so many harsh mistakes in my life, and I've just done what any man would do and turn my what I would consider or what some consider sins. I just turned my sins into my experiences. And now that my experiences are my hardships or were my hardships of life, I shall share them and I shall teach it. You know what I mean? I'll teach it because I lived it. You know, this is what I've lived without reading a book. And that's what Class Dojo for parents is. Is for us to share our hardship and as experience because information is stronger than education. I yield the floor.
Yeah, I just subbed to your new channel too. Your other channel.
I got both your channels as well.
Yeah, and like I said, we just creating a lot of platforms after platform. So if they can't see us on one platform, they can just go to our other one to see us. It's just I wish a whole lot of flat Earth channels would do that, and then every step of the way, um, every every corner somebody turned, they would see they would see a true seekers video. No matter how much they try to, whether they try to look for sports or look for something for NASA, the more of us that do that to make two or three channels, the the more are the probability of us showing up on every corner or whatever, talking about whether it's flat Earth or astronomy in general, or like we're doing today, um, alchemy or medicine or weapons, you know, that I mean, this just me, and I'm sitting here reading the golden tracks concerning the stone of the philosophers. It's ancient as well as modern philosophers, most beloved reader and devoted seeker after true wisdom. Let me see if I can zoom this in. It's kind of there. You go. Okay. Um, when through the grace of God they have reached the goal of their desires, have endeavored to make a discovery known to the fellow inquirers in all parts of the world. Not only because they wish to inform that the thrice, I guess, three great and good God. You see that thrice or three, the Trinity, right?
Thrice. Yeah, it's three.
So that's a Trinity. I like how they try to put words in there. Great and good God had enlightened their minds, um, blessed the labors of the hands, and shown them the greatest and most profound secret in earthly wisdom. So, so it makes you think all wisdom comes from earth, or should I say the chakra, right? The heart chakra, earth, same thing, right? Or does it come from a higher power? I would like to think both, you know, but this just me. For which benefit all praise, honor, and glory and justified due to him, and they like to label. It's like I don't know. I I'm trying to think. It's not a him or a her. It's just both. I mean, like you know, both. Cause it seems like at the end they still try to make like the male all dominant. And like I said, that's just me. I could just be tripping on that part. But also they might they might afford assistance to beginners in the art by which um with God's permission they too attain the knowledge of this holy mystery. Such men there have been in all countries amongst Egyptians Hermes, one of the first alchemists, tried try I can pronounce this word. Trismegistus. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Holds the highest place. They
Tris,
come to I'm sorry, go ahead. Was that you, Dojo?
Trismegist. If I'm not even reading it, but I heard what you're saying. I think you're talking about Trismegist. That's where
Trismegistus,
that's
yeah.
that's the oldest version of. I'm trying to remember. I think that's where Copernicus based his theory on the earlier works of Hermes, if I'm not mistaken. Too much info going on in my head. I started drinking coconut oil 2 years ago. I'm guessing it's helping, but I'm guessing I still got too much info going on with all this research and
That
more
sounds good
reading and
though.
studying. And,
The coconut oil. That sounds pretty tasty.
well,
Though the
actually,
aforementioned, huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh,
Well,
okay.
I'll do it. I'll do it quick. I had found the flat Earth. I was taking care of someone with Alzheimer's, and since I was aware that we've been lied to, I tried to find alternate methods of, this man is wealthy. I was being paid to take care of him. I'm being paid to hang out in a beautiful home, and hang out with an old guy. And I, these people had all the money in the world for the best care possible, and this man was not getting better. Sorry, it's a small island. There's an airport on the island. Um, so I started looking, and uh, they say coconut oil, in some instances, is like a magic bullet for people with Alzheimer's. There are other good things as well, but coconut oil was the magic bullet, so that was the one that I was going to try. I never got that man to try, and he did die. But you know, I've read more since, and I understand, and it, all the pharmaceuticals, things like kratom, they're now trying. The FDA and the DEA are trying to keep it out of here
Hmm.
because it's something that'll get people off drugs. It's a harmless painkiller. Apparently, it's something that you can't OD on, like marijuana. You can't OD on marijuana. Marijuana is a really good thing. 35 years, almost 35 years in AA. Trashing people smoking marijuana, and that's uh, the properties of that substance. It's amazing. I mean, it's a nutrition. And it was obviously taken out and demonized by the pharmaceutical industry and the textile industry and the oil industry. You make biodegradable plastics out of it. Good plastics. The stuff grows without pesticides. It's a weed. Everything about marijuana good. In fact, the English settlers here were required to grow marijuana. It was a very, very important crop. But nope, what happened? It's a real bad thing. And I think it's still a Schedule One narcotic, even though they finally admit there are medicinal uses for it. It's still, I think it's still classified like heroin. You know, they're,
For I
they
don't know, it might have some qualities to heroin in that, like how they say X pills have a mixture, have some elements of heroin in it, mixed with elements of crack, and I'm like, I think I probably tried that once, and it really didn't do for me as it usually as it does for a lot of other people.
That wasn't around when I was drinking and doing drugs. So I think what I have heard that is that it's, it can be any number of different things. Just making a pill, throw in
Mm-hmm.
a little coke, a little heroin, a little, I don't know what the, anyway, you know, but you know, I'm still sober and everything, but I think CBD oil is probably very good and healthy for you. I think I
That
remember
seems.
reading a couple of years ago, even before Flat Earth, that seeds, marijuana seeds, are really, really nutritious. So I don't know if they get you high or anything, but wouldn't mind having a bit of that to try and see if it has any good in it. I understand it does. I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost.
No, you good.
I'm sure.
We can go and get back to
Yeah, please. I'm sorry.
nah, you good. We do appreciate your testimony though. And so
Thank
as I was we get back into this real quick, it says though the aforementioned sages wrote at different times in different languages, yet their works exhibit God in the discovery of this stone. So why are they hiding it? Why are they trying to hide his existence? With the Big Bang Theory and all this stuff, right? They said, and they had to perform all the work with their own hands. Now, as the truth of their views is perceived to their agreement, so the disagreement of certain others marks them as false philosophers. So even back then, so basically, even back then, people were trying to be politically correct, and if you didn't agree to the political correction or whatever, they would label you basically as a fake or false, probably stupid, dumb, conspiracy theory type thing, for not knowing the foundation of glorious art and making up financial theories about their own heads. They exhibit their ignorance to all, like I just said, right? So let's y'all want to build on that real quick?
I'm looking up Hermes Trismegistus now, so if I see if I can remember who
Hmm.
swiped that and
Hermes is
put it
the
out again. Go ahead.
Hermes, whatever, however you pronounce his name. He's the ah,
You talking
uh
about Trismegistus, this guy right here?
Hermes, yeah,
yeah, I'm reading
ancient
the same
Greek.
thing Jamaican.
Okay, cool. I make sure we was on the same page. Go ahead, Dojo. The floor is yours, bro. I finna run to the bathroom. The floor is yours.
My fault. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts because this is on the fly. If I'm not mistaken, his name is let's see. Uh, I have a gentleman by the name of William Walker Atkinson. He was born in December 5th, in 1862. Let me make sure everything I'm looking at is appropriate first. 'Cause this is like on the fly. I'm right with you though. Are you there?
Here, he went to Bethel.
Oh, okay. So he spoke of this Hermes Thrus Miss Gus, whatever that guy's name is, right? The try of this Hermes guy, he was mimicked, and some of his information was like it was mimicked. And what I mean by mimic, once like he said, once everyone became scholarly, they started to like They concealed all the information and only came out with literature according to those who lived in a certain class when it comes to society. And so I mentioned the guy I mentioned. His name was. Let me get back to the guy. Where is that at? I guess I got to pull him back up. I lost it. William Atkinson. Okay, this William Atkinson guy. The reason I'm bringing him up just on the fly is because I've read some of his literature before, and the name struck something in me when Jamaicans spoke of Hermes Trismegistus, whatever this guy's name is. I heard that it rung a bell. William Walker Atkinson. He used to go by also Theron Q. Dumont, and he also is the writer of what you call the Kabbalion. I read the Kabbalion, plus I own a copy of myself. He also is the person who goes by the name of the three initiates. He cloned the Hermes Trismegistus guy, whoever this guy is, and William Walker Atkinson divided himself into the Holy Trinity himself, as in three people, and he came out with the belief in the movement of the New Thought. If you look into William Walker Atkinson, you'll also find some of this New Thought work that leads back to this Hermes Trismegistus. Even though this Trismegistus predates William Walker Atkinson, if you just listen to any of his liver box of his books, or even read the first paragraph of any of the books that he's written, you can see that he does have some type of information that was allowed for him to have in his possession that was not allowed for the rest of us. And I yield the floor.
I found Atkinson. I'm looking, and it was Isaac Newton who swiped the Trismegist. He's the one that used that.
Him
Or
also,
was it
huh?
Copernicus? Yes, it
Because this
was absolutely.
William Walker Atkinson, he's a very good writer. He's a very, very good literist, and he he wrote a book that I still read today, and I can't even count how many times I've read this book. But he wrote a book called The Power of Concentration, and the book The Power of Concentration, that's written by William Walker Atkinson, is one hell of a book. He placed all his literature in regards to this Hermes, which Jamaican brings up today, which like anyone who knows me know that I'm not real big on studying history. I'm more of a futurist. I study things forward. I make not prophecies, but I like to make big predictions from practical science. Um, and so I thought I'd just share that gem who William Atkinson was, because I'm not able to share anything else that could be factual in my life at this moment.
Okay, I'm back, fellas. Y'all there?
Yeah, we here, Jamaican.
Okay.
I don't got my panel showing because I got my I'm on the page where I'm sharing my screen. And
So
so I'm
is
trying
it
to get Jay Midas up
so
in here because
this
huh?
Hermes is Thoth, right? So Thoth and Hermes are the same. It's depicted the same entity. Is that right?
Yeah, it is
Oh,
correct. Yeah. Yeah, now it started off as thought. Now I guess when he
I thought. Excuse me, Jamaican. I okay. So you're what? Okay, wow. So Thoth and Hermes are depicted from the same entity, and Thoth and Tahuti is depicted from the same entity as well.
now you said now Hootie, I don't know about him any other names but Hermes. You see what I'm saying? Um, but I guess I could find out. Let me see. Is his name up here?
No, I'm just curious of the Tahuti and the Thoth
Let me
being
see.
one person, one personification, and where does Hermes come in when this one personification is? Where does Hermes come in?
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to figure out because it came off as Thoth, and they said that Thoth had the face of a bird or something. And then when he relocated somewhere, um, then he picked up the name Hermes. But but they talk about Hermes and thought that there's two different people or something. So this the thing. That's as far as I can gather that it got to be that Thoth and Hermes the same person. Now the other person you mentioned, entity you mentioned, you said Tahula. Is that right? What was it?
Tahuti. Tahuti.
Tahuti.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was reading that book on alchemy, um, I didn't come across Tahuti, or maybe I didn't read enough into the book to do it, or whatever. I need to go check that book out again because it was pretty interesting. But so far, it just came across Thoth, and then Thoth became Hermes, and but then when I started reading up on Isis, cause she was a princess or something, Isis came across um and said that she was studying Thoth and Hermes text. So I'm like, that's what confused me. I'm like, but I thought they were the same person. Why is it saying that she studied Thoth and Hermes? So maybe Thoth, wrote down his alchemy and his data and stuff. And then when he became Hermes, Hermes wrote down more or different or more data in science and stuff. That's the only thing I can think of. Cause
It appears that Thoth and Tahuti are the same personification from what I'm understanding, and it appears that the name change comes with the linguistics of everything. You know how as time progressed, so did languages. That's
mm-hmm.
what it appears.
It does seem that way though. That seems plausible though that Thoth, Hermes, and Tahuti. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah,
Are
you
all the
said it
same
right.
person.
Yeah, well, I'm looking this up right now, right here, live on the fly on Science Academy. This is not something that I've previously studied, so that's why you're getting the dead air in between our dialogue, because I think we're all looking into certain little
Yeah.
things. That's why I always recommend to Tom that sometimes a desktop or a laptop can be more efficient than a smartphone. The smartphone can only gather information and bring back as much as possible. These laptops have these tabs, and it allows me to go through multiple tabs like Windows. I guess that is the description of Windows, because these tabs are like
Mm-hmm.
transparent until I decide to say what I want displayed on the tab. And I like that mechanism of Windows because I can have open 15 tabs of powerful information at one time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing. So this Thoth character, you know what I'm saying? When you look at the etymology of it, you know what I mean? It looks like it's breaking him down from Greek to ancient Greek to Sahadic Coptic to Bohairic Coptic. So it's breaking down the linguistics of his name. Now, I don't want to say of his name because I don't know if Thoth is a he, she, or it. Um, so we can keep gathering more information, Jamaican. You're doing a very good job as a host. And I yield the
Thanks. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
thank you.
shoot! I brought up the wrong window. Hold on. Let me get back to my window. Boom. I got that window. Now I'm gonna bring up this one. Okay. Well, actually, I can minimize this one. Boom. Okay. But yeah, and like I said, even that book I was reading, it was still trying to push the globe lie, whatever. They try to throw that in there. But even though they had flat Earth clues throughout the whole dang book, I was like, these MFs need to stop for real, for real. And
That's not oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was looking at this. That the Alfred agreement is just in regard to the matter. Now, are they are they using? I'm trying to figure out what context are they using this word matter. Are they using it as in matter that make up people, or matter as the mental state of mind? Is that it's illusion? Is way? Oh, well, I guess as I read on. So yeah, so they're using this matter. They're using matter in the context of what makes up an object or a human.
Yes, Matt. Yeah, you're reading on right. See, this is the we're talking about alchemy, and so right here it says how it says to the matter, its solution, its weight,
Wait.
and the regulation. All of that is an alchemical equation that they're breaking down. Keep going, though. I'm sorry. Go. Keep going.
Oh,
The matter,
cool. So
right?
that's
The
awesome.
matter is the weight. The matter is the density. You know what I mean? See, this is a great build right here. The matter. See what I'm saying? This is what I said on Facebook as well. When you say matter, that's that oxidation stage. Everything here has to be oxidized in order to be here. When you find things
Hmm.
that cannot touch oxygen, right? They simply just explode, like the chemical silicium. When you look up silicium, you notice that it's the chemical agency that it cannot touch, it can't be oxidized, because as soon as oxygen mixes with silicium, right, it explodes. Even when you turn it to a liquid stage, which is a solution, when you turn it to a liquid, when you liquidize silicium, right, you can put it in a jar, and as soon as you open the jar and just throw it, right, it comes out like a whole bunch of you know how fireworks look when you just sparkles go everywhere, but these sparkles are
Hmm.
more deadlier than just regular sparkles because this is a chemical. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited because you're starting to get into chemistry. This is chemistry right here that they're discussing.
It is, man. I told you I'm a science nerd. I love everything that got to do with science. But it says I can't talk. As concerns the matter it is one and contains within itself all that is needed. Out of it, the artist prepares whatever he wants. It's British. I'm sorry. Where I get that word from? Its birth is in the sand. Dang, where did I hear that from? Its birth is in the sand, as the philosopher uh, Anastratus Anastratus says in the crowd nothing is more precious than the red sand of the sea. It is distilled moisture of the moon joined to the light of the sun. Boom. You see this? This right here is a flat earth clue. Joined to the light of the sun. It's not, you know what I'm saying? They work together as one. One does not reflect off the other. Right. And that's basically what we can see. We can see, don't they ain't they like the daytime moon right here? When the moon and the sun are connected and are joined. You said the moisture of the moon joint. No, I think I'm reading too much into that part. I continue. Well, if I can.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Just keep going, man. Don't cut yourself off. Don't. You know what I mean? You're good because like that. What you hide the distilled moisture. Let's look moisture. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is great. What book? Matter of fact, what PDF is this? Oh, Sacred Text. The American Museum of Sacred Text. I can see you. Okay, keep going, my
Yeah, I
man.
got you right here.
You're
Right here.
pondering. And when you're pondering, you can't do that to yourself. You can't say, "Oh, wait, no, no." Just ponder. Just throw everything out there. This is what ponder is. When you ponder, it's just your mind just throwing everything out, and then we'll start to decipher what later. But this is a ponder session. This is how I'm taking it, and you're doing
Okay.
great. But the moisture of the moon, that's interesting. It says that because you got to think. You know what I mean? Our atmosphere and precipitation. I never looked at it as does the moon cause precipitation in our atmosphere. I mean, you keep reading and keep decoding, and I'm going to start looking things up on the side right here for you. Okay.
Here I come. Okay. Now, let's see what else does it say. Sorry, I had to run and get my food real quick. Then it says, where
Okay. Sorry.
was
Hey,
I?
sorry, Jamaican. Sorry. Before you take off. Sorry. I'm sorry, Jamaican. This is a great thing. But before you take off, so I typed in really quick. I typed in moisture of the moon, and it indicates that the lunar gardening believe that the moon's gravitational pull affects the flow of moisture in the soil. Okay, so that's a big deal right there. Okay, so you can keep going now. I wanted everybody to understand that when as we speak, I mean, because alchemy and this study subject right now is really a real ancient science, and so no matter what, as long as we're researching and while we're pondering, we're going to come up with a lot of new solutions and some new clues. So as you were, Jamaican, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me bring back. Let me come back to the call. Where was I? Okay, boom, got it. Now it says what up right here? Okay. And congeal that this is on that only this one substance is required and attested by Agadman in the same book. He says, know that unless you take my body, sulfur, without the spirit, mercury, you will not obtain what you desire. Cease to think many things. Nature is satisfied with one thing, and he who does not know it is lost. Oh yeah, well he who does not know it is lost. So, but it said you take my body, sulfur and mercury. Those are I know this is an element, but is this an element on the periodic table too, right?
Yes, cesium is an element. Yes.
All right, so what would you create if you mix sulfur with mercury?
We can totally look that up right now, Jamaican, as you host the show. Hey, great job, Jamaican. Yeah, yeah, those are on the table. Sulfur, mercury, all that. I was still looking into the moisture of the moon, and it's giving me some quiet information, especially the congeal, because you got to remind yourself, since we're dealing with linguistics, right? We
Mm-hmm.
have to go and make sure that we go into the etymology of certain words. And the word congeal, when we look at the con word, which is the con is to go against. You know what I'm saying? We already know the etymology of the con. And geo, you know what I mean? And geo is the myrrh, which is the myrrh of the sea. You know what I mean? And so when they talk about and so I'm decoding what you're saying as you decode. So we're doing a wonderful job, Jamaican. Those are elements on the table, Jamaican, because you have the yeah, you have the particle elements. Yeah, those are elements on the table, Jamaican. And remind yourself, if you can find it on the periodic table of elements, Jamaican, if I'm not mistaken, you can find it in the human body, as you were, Jamaican.
Yeah, it just make you wonder. It's like cause he referred to his body as sulfur and his spirit is mercury. But sulfur and mercury are both. Oh shoot, I lost my spot. Are both bad for you. I think I went. Let me see. Where was I? I think it was somewhere in this paragraph. No. Yeah, here it is. Right here. Yes, but sulfur and mercury is bad for you. So that's what I'm trying to think. Like, were they giving this some type of?
When he speaks of sulfur, maybe he's speaking of sulfuric acid, Jamaican, because when you in chemistry, everything goes down to a molecule form, my man. You know what I mean? So maybe he's speaking of sulfuric acid and not just like sulfur. You know what I mean? Because sulfuric acid is a mineral acid that is naturally produced. I can write the chemical. I think it's capital H2, capital SO4. You know what I'm saying? It's a molecular form. You know what I mean? This is chemistry, my man. And so we're speaking of alchemy. And when we speak of alchemy, we speak of chemistry. He just broke down sulfur. Sulfuric acid is a mineral acid that is formed by nature. I mean, from what Wikipedia said, it's colorless and odorless. So before we say, but you can just keep talking. But before we say what we think or what is not, let's just keep gathering. This is called gathering. Okay, we're just going to gather everything, and then we're going to start taking things off the table so we can come with some rationality. Okay. Hey, keep going, Jamaica. You're doing great.
Thanks. He says, no, nature is satisfied with one thing, and he does not know his law. So, hey, under the ether, thanks for coming back, sir. It says, in the same way, Arnold of Villanova writes, Flower of Flowers, our stone is made of one thing, and with that one thing, and with one, it's made out of one thing and with one thing. Hmm, interesting. To the same effect, he says to the king of Naples, it is our stone. All that is in our stone is essential to it. Nor Does it need any religion? I mean, sorry, any foreign ingredient? Its nature is one, and it is one thing, as Rajani says. Know that the object of your desire is one thing, out of which all things are made. Lilium, Lilium. So, is that true?
Say it again, Jamaican.
So that true says all things are made. Lilium.
Lilium.
Yeah, I know this is a periodic element, but
Yeah. Well. Let me see. Let me see. I'm looking because I know what lithium is. Okay, hold on. You just keep going. You keep pondering. Keep going on. Let my 8 fingers do some typing. Okay, Jamaican.
all right, brother.
So
You
I got
crazy.
9 fingers.
Oh,
I got
go
9.
ahead, Tom. You got the floor.
He just said 8 fingers.
Oh,
I guess you're
Tom
not
got
using
one
thumbs.
decapitated. Oh, you lost a finger,
Yeah,
Tom?
yeah. Long time ago, no problem.
Long time ago.
Yeah, but
My dad too.
at the
My
time I
dad
was
did too
thinking,
about 30 years ago.
Hey, my
but
grandfather, he served in the war and he got blew up out of a foxhole and it blew parts of his penis off. And they used lambskin to sew it back on. And I would go, Pops, Pops, when I called him for his name. For real. That's a true story. True
yeah,
story.
my father lost a pinky in the war, and he used to be able to go around putting the pinky up to his nose. I can't really do that too good with the middle finger missing. But anyway, 2 people in one family missing a finger. Very weird.
Pretty weird. This was up.
Like,
What was I? Okay, give me a second. Oh well, my fault. I'm trying to fool with my chat as well. Okay, so it says you have only one thing. You have need only of one thing. Oh, hold on, my chat in the way. Okay. Um, which at any stage of our experiment can be changed into another nature. And that is interesting. Lilium, you have only one thing which can experiment that can change into another nature. This right here is what I was talking about. Alchemy, being able to bend water into, probably turn water into ice, you know what I'm saying? Because it changes the nature of the element, right? Be able to turn, fire into steam or whatever, turn fire into air or air into fire, you know, Hadouken, you know what I'm saying? Turn the air into a fireball. You see what I'm saying?
I think that lilium is lithium, my man, because I can't find it. I'm not really finding that lilium, but
I,
I'm definitely finding lithium. You know what I'm
I
saying? And
think it's
lithium is
ilium.
back on the chemical table of element, you know what I'm saying, which is the capital L lowercase I is an atomic number 3. You know what I mean? So we can keep pondering Jamaican, but a lot of this stuff is panning out real chemistry. I mean, I'm looking again. I can't find and that's Lilium.
Not an L. I think it's ILL, not LIL.
Let me try.
You.
I've never heard of that element before,
Yep.
though.
Yeah, it's one L. ILIUM.
So lilium,
Oh, oh, never mind. No. Ilium is just a bone. Never mind. I'm sorry. Sorry about
I want to say maybe it was a typo. Whoever.
No, wait.
Uh,
We're gonna make sure that that ilium bone does not contain anything that does. No. You're right. Everyone, we're doing great. Just keep going. We're gonna. Thanks for throwing that out there, Tom. Thanks for throwing that bone. Keep
Okay,
going,
we're all
Jamaican. I'm
doing the
sorry.
same thing here.
then it
We're all on the
says
same track.
our stone is one. Our medicine, which we add nothing. I wish that's like the medicine we need today, but our medicine today have so many elements and poison put into it, from which we are taking nothing away. Only removing only removing that which is superfluous. They got a bunch of words and hard. It's hard for me to pronounce. Super, super flowers. Again, sites in the crowd says the existence of this art, cause all science is art, is in the manner a certain one thing, which is stronger and more exalted than all the other things, and it is called the most powerful acid because it changes gold. It changes gold into a clear spirit, and that's interesting. Without which, there is neither whiteness nor blackness nor redness. When the spirit is joined to the body, it becomes one with it, and yet again becomes a spirit, and is saturated with the spiritual and unchangeable tint, tincture, and thus again by combination receives the bodily um tincture which cannot be annihilated. If you place a body without acid over the fire, it would be burnt and destroyed. From these words and sights, the reader might conclude that not one but two things, namely a body and an acid, as he calls it, are required, and that a liquid must be combined with a dry thing, thus the dry thing should be consumed by the fire in order that. This kind of common sense though. If something's dry, of course the fire is going to consume it, unless they're trying to teach a different context. What do you think? Are you at the floor? You are there?
I'm back to cesium. I'm still looking at cesium.
He's still
Okay,
looking at
okay.
cesium.
I
Hey,
got
that
you,
cesium
Joe.
stuff
You
is
you over
great.
there getting your fingers
You know,
working.
you need to order you some of that. You can shelf that. See these chemicals you can shelf. I can give you some websites to certain. You can do the same thing with in powder form and liquid, which is I mean liquid form and things like that. As you were reading Jamaican, I remember when I used to think that okay, so if a creator, all right, wait. Okay, what's going on here, Jamaican? From your perspective of alchemy, and what you just read, what do you consider as occurring? I mean, I know you don't have any beacons in front of you. You don't have any. You don't. Have, you don't. You're not in a lab. All right, so I know that.
Mhm.
What resonated with you the most when you read this?
Well, basically about what I've been thinking about the whole alchemy situation in general. That being able to manipulate not only the elements outside, water, water, fire, land, and air, but what or earth and air, but also being able to master each element on the periodic table of elements, which is chemistry. And those elements came from alchemy, and this called chemistry, because you see that table in the chemistry book. Um, and that's what it seemed like. It seemed like they're taking these these certain elements off the table, right? And basically becoming one with the element, just as if you was to become, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. How you become one with water? How you become one? How you become one with fire? And then it makes me think when Bruce Lee said become one with water or whatever. I mean, be like water, meaning to become water. Then I think about how Jesus walked on water, which really never happened, but when you look into the context, that was like alchemy, you know what I'm saying? Becoming one with that water. So you're able to manipulate water because I read up on something how ninjas how ninjas were able to run across water or something. They had certain things in their shoes or whatever, and they were able to run across water. Um, I guess I don't know, to be undetected when they infiltrating somebody. Excuse me, when they infiltrating like an enemy stronghold or something. But that's basically my take. Go ahead. I rest.
No, what I was doing here. I was reading the rest of the sites and how it states that the crown says the essence of this art is in like manner a certain one changes gold into a clear spirit. And like I mentioned when we first started the discussion today about alchemy, that my perception of alchemy did favor the digestive system as the human body being the miracle machine that converts these minerals that we eat and consume through plant life, not through meats. Well, I can't even say that because even the meats that we eat those animals that are vegan themselves. And so as I go on, it stays right here, it changes gold into a clear spirit. So now it's letting us know, I mean, what is the percentage of gold in the human body? And how does that percentage of gold in the human body, what does it do and what organ does it regulates? As it goes
Hmm.
on, it says into a clear spirit, without which there is neither whiteness nor blackness nor redness. When the spiritual and the untangible tincture, and thus again be combination, receives a bodily tincture which cannot be annihilated. If you place the bodily without the acid, here we go. Here we go back to the sulfuric acid I was mentioning. Bodily without the acid, the fire, it will be burnt and destroyed. From from these words of sites, the reader might conclude that not one but two things, namely a body and an acid in parentheses, as he calls it, are required, and that a
Hmm.
liquid must be combined with a dry thing, least the dry thing should be consumed by the fire. All right, so basically, at my point, this is what I see. Every time I study ancient alchemy, I always look for those ones who are trying to create a soul, trying to create the human being from nothing. If you believe in a creator, in which I know we all know that there is a creator, how did
Hmm.
how did something come from nothing? When you bring nothing from something, that's really a form of alchemy. But when we look at the Hermes and all the ancients who studied alchemy, one thing I always tell people that I notice is that these people who ponder on the things that we're pondering on today, you notice that they're found in caves with candles, a human skull, and maybe a feather dipping in ink. Why? Is because they were always discarded from humanity for looking for these answers. They have always been discarded. The alchemist has always been
Yeah,
disregarded or burnt at
they
the
didn't
stake.
need any of those. They didn't want any of those outside distractions. Whether a bird flying by and tweeting, or a squirrel running
Anything in
by,
nature. This is the
or you
pure
know what I'm saying.
alchemy.
They didn't want
Alchemy is
any
the
type of
purest form of
distractions at
atheism.
all. So that's why they bottle themselves up in that, so they can just be trapped with their thoughts without any.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, something that we all do. So most of us do that. And the reason I say from my perspective that alchemist is a form of atheism is because we know that the creator exists. But in order to it's a wonderful thing and to look at chemistry in the creative way, because when you look at inorganic material or inorganic minerals, that's creation. That's creation from nature, from God herself. You know what I'm saying? We cannot neglect what's inorganic, because you can't have anything that's organic, because everything that is organic functions on something that it needs to be inorganic. Our
Hmm.
inorganic capacity is built on, excuse me, our organic capacity is based on our diet, right? Our diet must be based on what's inorganic. You know what I'm saying? What's natural. But at the same time, when we look at this alchemical body as the miracle machine, you can see how whoever wrote what they wrote and why back then they would look at them as demonized, because it's like it was a higher way of thinking when you start looking at chemistry. I mean, buy yourself a little 5-year-old chemistry set. If I pop my camera on, I'll show you a couple of them. I mean, chemistry is something we do all the time. If you're lighting a cigarette, you're performing chemistry. chemistry is something that is being done as we speak. You know what I mean? I yield the floor, Jamaican.
This is deep. So basically, is this part right here? Is this part right here pushing the Big Bang Theory or debunking it? The way I looked at it, it looked like it's debunking it because it's like you said liquid unless the drain thing, which was should be consumed by the fire in order that the moist thing may be preserved. By the moist thing, it may be preserved from such combustion. You know
See,
what I'm
what is he
saying?
doing? Is
But
he
it was
actually in
nothing
a
there.
lab performing this? Or my thing is like, how is he getting this information? Not the writer, but the primary sourcer. The primary sourcer is the one who experienced this literature that we're reading. And if we follow the rabbit hole, we'll see that everybody is secondary sourcing this primary sourcer. So the primary sourcer is the one who experienced it. From the sounds of it, if it goes back to and back in the times of renown, right?
Hmm.
What type of lab set could he have used to understand this type of information, or should I say, dispute this type of information out? One thing that's bringing so much clarity. Not only do I yield, not only do has flat Earth brought so much clarity, but what was bringing the most clarity is when we listen to these presentations and these lectures and the debates that Brother Sanchez is performing. If you listen to the one he did yesterday, or I think it was last night or something, right?
Again,
A lot of that stuff comes out in the open, and it helps us out with a lot of these sciences. It really does
yeah,
because
last
it
night he was talking with Jabbar. I mean Jamar.
not no not the one with not that one, not that one. The one he was speaking with the elder brother, our elder brother Santos. You know what I'm saying
Oh yeah,
that one
on the
when he was
sun and
dropping the
moon,
real
on the
knowledge.
sun
That
and
one.
moon's sciences. Yeah,
He always dropping that real knowledge. That one is the one that needs to be played on loop for a couple of days. I mean, if you listen to what he's saying, as well as Brother Santos, right, you will be able to, like, a lot of these sciences become, it's like they're dropping keys to a lot of these locks in these sciences. You know what I'm saying? And they're sharing these truths for free. The truth has never needed a price tag. They're giving these truths with these keys for free. You know what I mean? Just unlock the sciences as we read on. I yield the floor, Jamaica.
that's exactly why I didn't buy into the Flat Earth Conference. Cause I was like, man, the truth is free, man. The only thing it's costing us is our sanity.
You have never lied.
But I ain't gonna charge nobody. You know,
No, that's a real
only
big
thing,
discussion. That
only
was
thing, only thing I want you to pay for my knowledge is pay attention. That's it.
right, exactly. Pay attention because that was a real big discussion, and it's still a discussion that I have with myself a lot. If anyone that's subscribed to my channel, you notice I haven't went live in a while.
My fault. It's
As
my
truth
fault about it.
speaking,
I'm outside. Sorry. Go ahead.
as I'm saying, as those of us who are truthfully speaking, and those of us who use the truth to seek for more truth, when, as our brother's keeper, is it possible to put a price tag on truth? As for me, I'm not trying to corner anyone listening or corner anyone on the panel. For me, truth should be shared, and truth should be shared equally, because truth is the redeemer. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
I don't understand when it comes to the truth movement, when it comes to pricing the truth. When you price the truth, from my perspective, and I have no disrespect or I have no animosity towards those who do, I just know that I will never purchase your truth. But when you price the truth, right, it lets a person like myself know that there must be a loophole to where I can go find it for myself. If you think that you've found a certain knowledge that should be priced, not there's no such thing as expensive truth. I yield the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the truth shouldn't cost nothing. But it's
I
like
agree 100%.
if you putting work in as far as experiments and stuff, and you want to present it, yeah, I don't see no problem in charging for your work. Now, charging for your work and paying for the truth are two different things. And like we just sitting here talking or whatever, but I'm not gonna fill up an auditorium giving you this when you can just come to my channel and get it for free. You know what I mean? Or come to your channel or Sanchez's channel or You've Been Exposed channel or Sun and Moon or I Spy NASA Live channel, any one of our channels or Dre Midas's channel and get it for free. You know what I'm saying? However, if we spend our hard-earned money to give experiments to back up our truth, then yeah, I don't see a problem with with chart with as far as um getting paid with that because they actually paying for the work. Just like when you go to your job and they pay you for your work.
I get you.
They don't pay you to fill out your information on the application. You know, they don't pay you to come to the interview.
I
You know
guess
what
my
I'm
point was that truth in my behalf is like not work at all. It's actually an all loving thing. It's like kind of like how Tom, when Tom told us his living testimony, how who purchased Tom his P900, and how Tom just he feels like he's an apostle without having to be called with whether some would say a book or a word. For some apparent reason, he decided to flip the switch. You know what I'm saying? And that switch has caused him to want to bring this information, which is truth, to everyone. You know what I mean? If Tom can do it, I'm sure he'll bring it to us all at the same exact time, simultaneously, like they say omnipotent, right? And so
saying?
the truth that I speak of is the truth of the creator. It's the truth that makes me feel like, oh my God, I want to run outside to everybody I see and just like shake them by the shoulders and say, hey, you know what I mean? Not only is the earth is flat, but you've been robbed. You know what I'm saying? And, I want to wake everyone up. Like, look, wake the fuck up. Like, wake up, wake up. This is, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're in this, and we have to, and I noticed that it's like a lot of us are really in it's like a comatose sleep, and it saddens me, because SAD is an acronym. SAD stands for social anxiety disorder. Okay. And that's why some of us who smoke medicinal
That's
marijuana, we need that because we live a life that is saddened. You know what I'm saying? We have this disorder, and we get anxiety attacks when we're introverts. We can't really we don't get along with people. We get along with people, but it's like those who listen know what an introvert is. You know where I'm getting at. We're not sad people. We're not miserable people, but it's like this anxiety comes over us for the fact that we can sense a person's frequency that, okay, I'm suffocating here. And that's how I feel on certain behalves. So I mean,
absolutely.
truth seeking at this point for me in my life is to be shared. Whether if I do it on Dojo Time or Class Dojo for Parents, that's exactly my aim for the future until I pass away, is to share what got me here. I yield the floor.
All right, hon, let me bookmark this page real quick because I need to go. I'm gonna have to put class in recess so I can go get my little boy and stuff and do his class work for the week. But I definitely as soon as we get done and you know what I'm saying, and I throw him in the tub or whatever. As soon as I get done with my routine, I definitely wanna continue with this build because
Hey,
I mean I don't want to end it, but it's Monday and Mondays is a hard time when it comes with homework. So I definitely want to build with you all on this again. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this page open and stuff. And let me go ahead and stop sharing. I'm gonna leave this page open, and when I come back, just be aware. I mean, just be ready because we gon' I'm gonna crank it right back up on the fly. Just be looking for the notification or whatever. And like I said, I definitely wanna continue building on this. Will y'all be available?
Um, I'm definitely willing. I'm. I gotta
Say again.
probably eat something too. But I'm game. I'm still game. I'm always up for this.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you being game with all of this. Tom. You said let me go ahead and put our session in recess for right now, so I can focus on my kids' school schoolwork, even though it don't take long because he picks up on this. He got like a third grade mind. He ain't none in first grade, so it won't take long to do his homework at all. He picks up on it quickly, you know. But I guess it's easier to learn a lie than it is to handle the truth, right?
Yeah, that's I guess so.
But yeah, but I definitely appreciate y'all stopping by. But let me go ahead and put it in recess, and we definitely gonna continue to build on alchemy and Hermes and thoughts and whatever. Like I still got my pages open. So when I go live, the only thing I gotta do is just click a tab and it'll be. As a matter of fact, I left it right there. I left the page open on the part on the section that we were on. So get your notepads ready and stuff. If y'all want to take notes, it's fine. I kind of recommend it. you know, um, and as always, be kind to each other. Stay true to yourself. Um, Stay flat and keep it flat. Class dismissed.
Thank you.